What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Monster Bass channel. This is Paul from Burly Fishing, and I'm here to do like one of my favorite things ever, which is get super nerdy on some baits. So I'm gonna do a breakdown on this bait, that one right there. But before I do that, I wanted to say quickly, thank you so much for stopping by the channel, for clicking the link to this video. Please, if you haven't already, smash the like button, ring the notification bell, subscribe so you can see when we post more content. It really helps us a lot, and we would appreciate it. Also, if you're not busy, go check out Burly Fishing. We've got some awesome content for you as well. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get down to these baits. So the bait we're getting nerdy on today is the Kingfisher Custom Lures Squarebill. Bad boy is sweet. It's a little bit unique. I have got a whole box of Squarebills. I'm going to do a little bit of compare and contrast, show you some of the favorites that maybe are in your tackle box, and compare them to this one, which you probably haven't seen before. Now, this Squarebill is going to be in your July bag, so get pumped about it. I know that I have been fishing this for 2-3 weeks now, so I can definitely speak to it. I'm really excited to show you kind of some of the details. The first thing I want to do before we get into any of the comparisons and get into the nitty gritty, I want to show you some of the color patterns that you're going to see. And there are 5 different color options that you may be seeing in your bag. The first one is probably one of my favorites. This one is Indiglow Bone. Really cool color, kind of like a pearlescent bone. You can kind of see it's a little bit silver on top, but really a traditional bone. Now, bone can be a lot of things for a lot of different companies. Let's crack this open. I think I've got one right here. A lot of companies you'll see, they'll call this bone. This is like a yellow. Nothing wrong with this. This is a great color, but I consider this to be like a traditional bone. I just think this one is really cool. It's one of my favorites. Bone has kind of like crept up the list of like my favorite colors to fish. Reason being, it does well in almost every situation except for very, very dark water. It does a really good job almost everywhere. It's not too shiny, so it works well in darker waters, but it's not so dark that it doesn't really do well in clear water. So it's just a great all-around option. And I've caught a lot of fish on it, so it's always a good start to making a favorite color. And we also have a pearl white. So if you're not into the bone, we do have like a pearl white, traditional white. It's like white through and through, a little bit of pearl to it, but pretty flat. And it's got the red eyes, which they all have, which I really like. I mean, it may seem basic, but this is a really pretty white. Then we've got one of everyone's favorites, the sexy shad. You can see this in almost everyone's lineup. Reason being, it just catches dang fish. Got the blue on top, chartreuse in the back, red around the gill plate, red eyes, and then a little bit of a pattern there, which is different than what we've seen with some of these solid color patterns. A little bit of a scale pattern there on the side. Looks super good. Traditional, classic, hard to go wrong. And then if you want to go crazy when the water's super clear, one of my favorite times to throw this color pattern, which is the chartreuse blue. I think, what do they call this one? I'm good at my job. Yeah, chartreuse blue. Got super creative with that name right there, but very similar to the sexy shad, just a lot more, a little bit louder. Still has the cool scale pattern there on the side, blue on top, chartreuse on bottom. Hard to go wrong. And last, but certainly not least, is the do-it-all. This is their Ozark shad color. Scale pattern, black on top, really cool, a little bit of a clear coat, flat silver, and then you got the red on the throat there. Hard to go wrong with that color scheme. You got the white, you got the bone for when it's lighter color, you got the chartreuse, which does really good in light and dark water. Then you got the sexy shad and the Ozark shad for when you need to go a little more natural. I would say this would be like your light clear water natural, and this would be your dark water natural. Now, what do you expect when you get a Squarebill? Like, what should you be looking for when you get one of these out of the package? You know, what should it do? Squarebills are, first and foremost, they have a square bill. Shocker. But that's a little bit different than some of the other bill shapes they're gonna see. So for example, I've got here, like this is the Seeker series from MONSTERBASS. It dives a little bit deeper. This one I think goes like 6 to 8. Obviously, not a square bill there, right? And then very aggressive, right? It's almost like flat. That's what really gets it diving deep down. So these are gonna be angled quite a bit more. You can see the angles a little bit steeper there. So that's how you get the shorter bill. and then the steeper angle are what keep it high up in the water column, at 2 to 4 foot range that you're looking for. You can also expect an erratic action, so a really tight wobble. Now, there's varying degrees of this, and every single square bill has like a different action, but that's generally what you're looking for with a square bill. And when you're fishing a square bill, like your goal is to hit everything. You want to hit something when you cast it out. You want to hit everything between you and your lure as you're retrieving it. I want to hit the bottom. I want to hit every rock on the bottom. I want to hit every single twig and branch, and like I said, everything between me and the end of my cast. As I'm retrieving, I will hit everything. That's why that square bill, it's really good to have a durable square bill. You want one that can take a beating, because if you're not hitting stuff, you're not fishing it right. So the KCL, Kingfisher Custom Lure square bill, what makes it a little bit unique? Right off the bat, you can notice it almost immediately, is this tapered down section, how aggressively it tapers down. This big wide body, and then just immediately cuts back. Right here you can see these aggressive lines as it tapers back. That's the first thing that I noticed. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you a totally different action on the bill. So if it's a more full body square bill like this KVD 1.5, it's full bodied, right? It still tapers, most baits do, because that's that's like what a bait fish shape is. But you can definitely see there's a pretty significant difference in body shape here. You got a totally smooth bait here. You've got tons of lines and contours that are just going to make a totally different action and sound in the water. We talked about durability a little bit as well, and how important it is. With some of these square bills, what I want to see is a really thick, stout bill with, if they're going to do it, I want to see some support here at the back. Like, so you see this, I mean, I love this, by the way. This is the Strike King KVD. I believe this is the 1.5. This is fantastic square bill. I've got two of these. I got 2 of these right here just in this box. I think I got another one floating around in this box. A great square bill. But durability is a thing for me. I'm gonna hit everything that I can, and I want that square bill to last as long as possible and stand up to that abuse. So durability, that's one thing you should be looking for. Now the next thing I look for in a square bill, other than obviously durability, shape, and then kind of the movement, I'm looking for hook size, and I'm looking for the type of hook it has. One of my favorite parts about this square bill is actually the hooks that it comes with. This comes with BKK number 6. This is important. I told you you're gonna nerd out. EWG style treble hooks. EWG style treble hooks, extra wide gap treble hooks. Now what does that mean? Well, let's zoom in here. Let's get in on the details. So you're gonna see that treble hook shape. The bend actually goes way out right here, goes way out, and then it comes back inside. It cuts back inside. So you can see that treble hook shape. Now, if you take this is the Rapala BX Brat. It's one of my favorite square bills. I have a bunch of these, and they all are a little bit beat up from fish and from me just knocking them on stuff. And these have more of a just traditional style treble hook. So you can see it doesn't bend out and then cut back. EWG style treble hooks, I think they're just really great. One thing that it does is it keeps the hook point in a little bit. So wow, with those things moving around, I've got no idea what I'm talking about. So you see the hook point is actually angled in a little bit. That means that, like I said, if you're always trying to run this into stuff, it means you're probably gonna get hooked up occasionally. Like, not on a fish, like hooked up on a tree. You're gonna get hooked up with a square bill a lot less than you think, because the way that the angle at which they move, so like if you're retrieving the bait, it's gonna wobble back and forth this way, but this bill is gonna take it so that it's actually wobbling like this. So the tail's gonna be up, and then these hooks are trailing behind it, and the bill is gonna, as it's deflecting off things, is actually gonna be blocking you from hitting a lot of stuff underwater and getting hooked up on these treble hooks. So you're not gonna get hooked up a ton, but it does happen. You're running treble hooks through the water. You're gonna get hooked up. I think this minimizes your chance of getting hooked up on things that are not fish. And then when you do pin a fish, I really like those EWG style trebles for keeping that fish pinned. Now, one thing, I mentioned this is the KVD Strike King square bill. KVD got all-time great angler, right? He always preaches on hard body baits, for the most part, is upsizing your hooks. And you can see that in his version of this square bill. It's got like maybe a number 4 hook. It might even be 2 hook sizes, maybe even bigger than the treble hook here. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I'll try and get him to stop shaking for you. But you can see the KVD square bill has much bigger hooks than the Kingfisher lures. It can do two things for you. One, it can improve your hookup ratio. If you've got a bigger hook, you have a better chance of grabbing that fish. It's gonna hold on to fish pretty well because it's a treble hook. That is what it does best, is hold on to fish. You got 3 options versus 1 for catching that fish. Now, here's the drawback. You're gonna maybe get hooked up on more stuff. What I like about these BKK hooks, they are a size 6, so a little bit smaller, but I would say a standard size for what you get on a Squarebill. You could upsize them. What I would recommend is take the balance. You're getting the EWG hook, which is gonna provide a pretty good hookup ratio on the fish and provide a low hookup ratio on sticks. That's gonna allow you to fish this in the nasty cover and then come out without getting hooked up. Best of both worlds. I want to talk about sound with these Squarebills. There's 2 different kinds, well, for the most part, there's 2 different kinds of Squarebill. There's your louder Squarebill, so this is that lunker hunt Squarebill. Yeah. Loud. And then there's the silent Squarebill. So this is the KVD Strike King 1.5 silent. Oh, I think that's just the, yeah, that was just the top here. Nothing going on there, very quiet. Now you would think without the ball bearing inside there, the thing is not gonna cast, right? I mean, it's just a hollow piece of plastic, how's it gonna cast? There are 2 ball bearings in there. I can see them, I can see right through this bait. There's 2 ball bearings in there. So this does have enough weight to really cast well, but without the ball bearing transferring back and forth inside that little chamber, which is where that rattle's coming from, it's not gonna cast quite as well. Still gonna cast well, but not quite as well. But there is something to be said for a silent Squarebill. There are times when this is all they're gonna take is the silent Squarebill. So recommend always having one of these. But I personally, most of my Squarebills, I wanna have some kind of sound. The majority of mine, they're gonna have a rattle to them. It's gonna help cast far and it's gonna help draw fish in. So let's look and see where the KCL, the Kingfisher Custom Lures, falls on the spectrum of sound. This lunker has gotta be the loudest one, and holy moly is that tinny. That's like a $2 Wally World Maraca. That thing is loud. This is the BX Brat, the Rapala. No sound. Not much going on there. Here's the Hammerhead. Oh, come over here. Here's the Hammerhead from MONSTERBASS. Probably somewhere in between. Little thump, little rattle. And then here's the KCL Lures. More on the thumpy side. Got some depth to it. Love that thumpy sound. I think, again, less on the tinny side, more on the thumpy side means you're gonna get a nice hefty sound from that lure. And this is a little bit on the big side. I mean, this is just about the same length as that Strike King 1.5, but it's got a fatter body for sure. And then when you compare it to the BX Brat, I mean, that's a bigger profile. So, and then compared to this really tinny but holy loud lunker hunt, I mean, definitely on the bigger side. So overall, I mean, what are you getting with the Kingfisher Lures versus some of the other Squarebills? You're getting a big upsize profile. Again, giant size. You're getting this really cool tapered down effect, which I think is pretty unique with a round body. It's kind of like maybe like the DT, right? But man, what a really cool body profile. So something unique, which is always good. You always want to have something a little different to show those fish. You're getting high-end hooks, those EWG BKK extra sharp hooks, which I really like. And then on the Squarebill, you're getting the support and the stability. You know, I haven't had these for like months and months. I don't have a couple seasons under them, so I can't speak to durability from like a paint job perspective or any of that. But what I can tell you is just from the way this is constructed, the most stout of the bills that I have and the one that I think is gonna hold up the best. So, you know, all in all, I love the paint jobs. I don't think you've got anything like totally outlandish, but it hits like every single one of those important points. So yeah, all in all, quality components, really cool, unique design. I think this is gonna absolutely destroy in the springtime. I'm so excited to fish it this spring. Yes, I'm excited to put these to work in the fall, but man, the spring is when they really do damage. Now, when those fish are going up shallow in the summertime, it's another great time to throw a Squarebill. I mean, there's not really a bad time. Anytime you got any kind of shallow water, any kind of shallow cover that you can really beat up, it's Squarebill time. So that is my breakdown of the KCL, the Kingfisher Custom Lures, freak Squarebill. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thanks for bearing with the nerdiness, but we appreciate you so much. Again, smash the like button, ring the notification bell so you can see when we post more content, and please do subscribe to the channel. While you're at it, check us out at Burly Fishing. Jeff and I do some really cool content too. Bait breakdowns, gear reviews, unboxings. We got it all for you as well. So please go check out Burly Fishing and have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you in the next video.